Hello and welcome to Glen. This is my cryptocurrency journey. I've been vlogging it for the last 7 weeks, I believe, maybe 8 weeks now, and I'm just showing you guys obviously how I'm getting through the whole cryptocurrency minefield. Started off by literally just buying some Bitcoin and then hoping that it would go up in price. Then I went down the mining route, so obviously I'm trying to mine different through different sources, and now obviously stepping into investing in an ICO, which actually is just finished, so that's where I'm currently at. And in my last video I was talking about BitConnect going down and other YouTubers and stuff like that, and a lot of comments said, lighten up Glenn, why are you being so down about it? It was just because I felt really bad for the viewers or the people that had lost loads of money. I felt really bad for them, probably more so than the people that led them down that path. So but anyway, there you go. So I thought I'd lighten things up today by talking about everyone's favourite subject, and that's tax. Taxes, if you like. So I'm in the UK, so I understand that obviously in the USA your tax laws are pretty fucked up with cryptocurrency. From what I understand and what I saw, I don't have a massive knowledge of it. You have to pay tax on every single step of the transactions you make. So, for example, if you was to buy some Bitcoin off Coinbase, you have to pay tax on that. Then if you converted it to, say, through GDAX into Ethereum, then you have to pay tax on that. Then if you was to transfer that from that wallet into a different wallet, I think you might have to pay tax on that. I'm not too sure on that one. And then if you was to put that in an ICO or something else, then you'd pay tax on that. And then obviously if any money goes up, then you have to pay tax on that. So it sounds awfully confusing. It's not something that I'd want to be a part of. So I'm quite thankful to that. The UK government seem a bit slow with cryptocurrency, or more laid back, I should say, at the moment. So it got me thinking, if, say, this ICO that I've invested in, what if it was to go up, 10 times or something like that, and you hear a lot of them doing that, so it's not like I'm thinking crazy terms. What would happen? What do I have to do? How much tax? How much tax would I have to pay on that? Because obviously I don't want to be, especially me YouTubing this, it'd be very stupid of me to assume that obviously I can get away with anything, because obviously I have a large audience of people, whether they like me or not, that are monitoring it as I go along with what I'm spending, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, how much things have gone up by. So it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where I've sort of gained or lost money in cryptocurrency space. So obviously I have to be as transparent as possible. So I started looking into what sort of taxes that you have to pay in the UK, and I actually came across this really interesting website called crypto2tax.uk. Just bear in mind, if you're watching this in Europe or in USA, this is only UK tax laws. I don't know any other tax, I'm afraid, so and I don't really know the UK one that much, to be honest. I'm just going by what I've read on here and also from the government website. So what they're saying here is, in the UK we have a if you're just someone who's just buying cryptocurrency and it goes up in price, it grows up in value, and then you come to sell it. So we're a bit different, whereas I said obviously in America you should be keeping a record of every transaction you make as and when. With the UK, from my understanding, you only have to keep track of what price you bought that currency at. So if I was to buy Bitcoin at, let's have a look, at the minute it is at 11,500 dollars, if you like. Let's put this into, oh no, don't let me. Damn. You know, let's say that's 7,000 British pounds. So I'd make a record and I'd say, right, I bought 0.2 Bitcoin at 7,000 British pounds. Then you would also, when you come to sell that cryptocurrency, so say a year later, that is now worth, in British pounds, it's worth 12,000 British pounds. Obviously, I would sell that. What you would do is you would work out how much you paid for that cryptocurrency, how much you sold it for, deduct, you know, take off what you paid for it. So then you're only paying tax on the gain of what you bought the cryptocurrency and sold it for. So in this country, we call that capital gains tax. Anything that you buy and just goes up in value in the UK, you have to pay capital gains tax on. So predominantly, we only hear about capital gains tax with houses. As a normal person, you may buy a house and it goes up in value so much that when you come to sell it, you've made £50,000, and you would have to pay capital gains tax on that 50,000, not the whole price of the house, just the 50,000. And then it's a percentage, so it might be like 10%. So you might have to pay £5,000 on capital gains. Now, there's actually a law in the UK that if that's your house that you live in, so say if I was to sell this house, this is the house I live in, I pay no capital gains. So I can literally make 50,000 in this house, and I wouldn't have to pay any tax. I can either withdraw that at the end, or I can just put it onto my next house that I buy, because the chance are the house that you're going to buy next has gone up by 50,000 as well. So it really applies if you own more than one house. So let's say you own two houses, you rent one out, it goes up in value, £50,000, your second home, then you would have to pay it. So that's predominantly where you hear people talk about capital gains tax. But obviously now we're in the crypto space. You're buying something, it's going up in value, and then obviously you're selling it, so then you'd have to pay capital gains tax on that. What it's saying here is that apparently the annual tax-free allowance for an individual is 11,300. So within one tax year, so from April to April, you can earn 11,300 tax-free. You pay zero tax on the first 11,300 capital gains tax that you make. So obviously, say for me, I bought Envian tokens. If I was to make £7,000 off that investment, I wouldn't have to pay any tax on it. It'd only be if I started earning 12, 13, 14,000. You'd only pay from the 11,300 upwards. So let's say if I made £14,000 on those Envian ICO, then I would have to pay capital gains from 11,300, so what's that, 700, so it'd be 2,700. I'd have to pay tax on 2,700 at, say, 10%, I believe. So I'd have to pay something like 270 quid, which for 14 grand is pretty good. Obviously, if you start earning more money than that, obviously it can rack up, because once you hit a certain bracket, a threshold, you have to then pay a higher rate of capital gains tax. So instead of it being 10%, it goes up to, I believe, 20%, which obviously 20% on a large amount of money. But then saying that, you'd be happy that you made a large amount of money, I suppose. So this is a really interesting website. I've been reading it yesterday and today. It's definitely saying, another tip that they give you in here actually is that if you're a married couple, which I am, we can earn 11,300 each. Obviously, all the money that I spend is joint money. You know, me and my wife, we have joint money. We have a joint business together. So everything that we do buy, anything that I win or lose at, she also win or loses at. So she can actually earn 11,300 capital gains tax free, and so can I. What I did find interesting in here is that it was saying in here that I don't even need to inform. Obviously, you do a self-assessment, a tax return at the end of the year, which I do anyway because I'm self-employed already. So what they're saying I have to do anyway. But say you was employed, but you're doing cryptocurrency on the side, obviously you would be paying tax out of your payslip every month. Now, what you would have to do is, obviously, your work know nothing about your cryptocurrency activities. You would then have to declare to the Inland Revenue that you've actually earned, so much in this crypto space, and therefore pay the tax on, like I say, anything over 11,300. So that's something you would have to do off your own back, and just bear that in mind, because what you don't want to happen is 3 years down the line, I don't know, something changes or the government clamp down on it and they look at all the records of GDAX or Coinbase, and they go, oh look, Glenn Hammond's bought £1,000 worth. He ain't told us anything about that. Now it's worth £5,000 worth. He ain't told us none of that. And then obviously you start facing fines and court cases and potentially prison. So it's better to tell them up front. There is a YouTuber actually. I watched his video. He done a couple of them, and he made me laugh actually, because he actually rang up the Inland Revenue. The Inland Revenue is our tax in America. I think you call it, was it IRS or something? Paying UK tax on crypto, it was something like that. He actually rang them up, and no one knew the answer. Yeah, this guy here. He rang them up. What's his name? Crypto Jack. So I actually watched a few of his videos. He's done some good videos actually. And he actually rings up the Inland Revenue and says, "Look, what tax do I have to pay? Can you tell me?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't know. Because it's such a new thing, we don't know." But then, to being fair, this was published on the 1st of August, so it weren't that long ago. And they're literally like, "Look, we don't know. So it's up to himself to actually submit a tax return and put the information down correct and pay it right," which I thought was a bit stupid, really. But it just goes to show you how early stages we are in this cryptocurrency market and journey. Even the governments are not completely clued up, and if they are, they're not telling their employers how to get that word out. So obviously it's something that is still quite new. If you're watching this video, and for myself, obviously I'm looking at any information I can on cryptocurrency, so everything's more open to me. But when I talk to some of my friends, they don't even know what it is. They've heard of, say, Bitcoin, and even while I was on holiday, I asked my friend Gareth to transfer me over some money, just because we went shopping that day and I didn't have any access to any cash, other than using a credit card, which would have incurred high fees. Anyway, I said to him, "Oh, Gareth, do you mind if I borrow some money off you?" And he was like, "Oh, I thought you made loads of money off this Bitcoin thing." I said, "No." They just think, "Oh, Glenn's in Bitcoin. Yeah, that's in the news a lot. He must be making loads of money." It's not that at all. It is funny. So what I'm trying to get across is there's a massive divide between people that are interested and people that just don't really care about this space at all. And they just assume the people that are in it are somehow raking it in because they keep seeing these news articles. Bitcoin hits 10,000, Bitcoin hits 12,000. And they think, "Oh, Glenn's into that. Yeah, he must be making loads of money." But as of this moment in time, I've made no money. So this tax, capital gains tax, doesn't apply to me at all because I've not earned a penny from cryptocurrency as of yet. All my money's tied up in either Envian. I say that, I don't know how it works. I believe you only have to pay capital gains when you cash it out for actual cash. But what happens if, say, I've had money in, say, Coinbase. I had £300 of Bitcoin, and it went up in value to, say, £400. So technically I gained £100 of capital gains. But then I didn't ever cash that out. I didn't change it back into fiat money. I transferred it into Hashflare or bought more shares in Envian. So then how does that work? Because technically I have profited, but I just haven't converted it into cash. So I'm not too sure what to do there. If you know the answer, please comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I just thought it was really interesting that normally in the UK we have this government website, gov.uk. It's a massive site. It's literally got everything to do with tax, benefits, employer rights, and loads of different laws in there and stuff like that. So let's try and find cryptocurrency revenue for Bitcoin and other crypto. Yeah, I like the way they put revenue for Bitcoin and the other ones as well. So even the government really only have heard of Bitcoin. So this is the website that other YouTube Crypto Jack mentions. This hasn't been updated since March 2014. So for the last, it's coming up for 4 years now. We're in 2018 anyway. For the last 4 years, they haven't updated this. This brief sets out HM Revenue and Customs' position on the tax treatment of income, blah, 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 blah. And basically they're saying because it's not an actual product, you don't have to pay VAT on it. Given this evolutionary natural cryptocurrency legal regulatory environments currently in the respective regulatory, taxpayers can rely VAT out below, blah blah blah. I won't read through it all. I'll leave this. I'll comment this link in the description so you can have a read of it yourself. From my understanding of this, you have to pay no VAT on it. It's just capital gains tax. For obviously the profits, the gains that you make over the course of a year. So our year runs, like I say, from April to April, which I think is April the 5th to April the 5th the following year. And then you have, once you declared it, so if I declared it in April the 10th, that goes into the next financial year. So I'd have all the way until January 2020 to actually pay that tax on the gains that I made here. If I was to declare it today, then I would fall under the 1718. So I'd have until January 2019 to pay the tax on it. So the reason that I'm bringing this up was because, like I say, it is my belief that Envian is going to be worth a lot more than what obviously I've paid for it. So then, therefore, I have to bear in mind any money that I earn. There's no good me withdrawing it all and then going and spending it all, because then I'll be like, oh, now I've got to pay 2,700 on that or whatever, and then I'll shoot myself in the foot this time next year. So, and I thought, oh, if I'm thinking that, there must be a lot of other people out there that are thinking that. I looked on YouTube and there was only one other video on there, and that was that guy pretty much reading this website. He done it, not that I'm knocking him at all. He gave some really good information and he helped me out. So thank you for that, Crypto Jack. And yeah, that's it sounds pretty good, to be honest. I say that obviously the government could come along any minute and say, right, we've revised it now, and you now have to pay 40% tax on any cryptocurrency that goes up in any value, and which would make it difficult. Or like the American one, where you get taxed every step. I think they're classing, I'm not too sure actually, but from what I heard, the American tax laws against cryptocurrency, they're seeing it as an asset, like a property. So every time you buy and sell your cryptocurrency, say from Bitcoin to Ethereum, that's like you selling one property and buying another one, and then moving it over to another part, and then selling it again, and then exchanging it, So they're taxing you every step of the way, which I think is really unfair. and it's unmanageable. I mean, if someone put a gun to my head now and said, write down all the transactions you've made, it'd be silly, because it's so easy to just go on to Hashflare, MyEtherWallet, Coinbase, Genesis Mining, so many different revenues, a way of spending and transferring Bitcoin into other things, and which I have, and I've tried out. I did try out BitConnect before I realised it was a scam. I think I transferred £10 in there. Would I have to pay tax on that? I transferred money onto it and I didn't do anything with it. I just withdrew it again. It was worth 50. Actually, I made money because Bitcoin had gone up in that time. With BitConnect, I actually transferred a £10 in there worth of Bitcoin. Then I couldn't withdraw it because you needed to have a minimum of £50 worth of Bitcoin or something like that. When I came back to BitConnect, when I came back to BitConnect months later, and I think I actually done a video about it saying, oh, I've lost money already. Because the price of Bitcoin had gone up, and without me realising, forgetting about that £10, it was worth like, I don't know, 80 or something like that. It had gone up. I was really happy about that. So actually, I did make some money off BitConnect, if you like, but that was just because the price of Bitcoin going up. Yeah, I've lost Bitcoin already. It was the second video I ever done. That was 2 months ago. Actually, I wonder when was the first date I started doing these videos? November the 13th. That was my very first video. So, yeah, anyway, if obviously you're out there and you're thinking, well, I've made some money off this, and you start panicking about obviously tax laws, just remember that you only have to pay the difference of what the money goes up by. So subtract what you spent on the cryptocurrency, then obviously what it's gone up by. Then take out 11,300 for yourself. If you're married, take out 11,300 for your wife. Then whatever's left after that, then obviously you declare that to the Inland Revenue. I believe in here as well, it says that you only need to declare, like you need to actually ring up and tell the government what you're doing if you start to earn 4 times the amount of the tax-free allowance. So the 11,300, if you start earning 45,000, remember this is in British pounds, well it wouldn't matter to you in America anyway, £45, then you'd need to ring up and actually report yourself to the Inland Revenue, and then obviously deciding whether you want to actually consider yourself a trader, which means that you would have, like, if you was at work, if you're at work and you're also doing cryptocurrency, you'd be taxed through your job at work, and then you could technically consider yourself a trader, which I don't think a lot of people want to get too much into. But that's something that you have to bear in mind if you are starting to earn big money. I wish I'd earned 45,000 and I had that issue, but hopefully it will happen soon this year. So this is something that's definitely key to me at the moment, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys. So just make sure wherever you are in the world, you look into what tax you should be paying. Whether you pay it or not is another thing, but make sure that you are aware, because it's very easy to gain £10,000 or dollars or euros or whatever from someone for something. If you work out in your head, right, okay, really I should be paying 2,000 of this as tax, it's easy to go, well, do you know what, I'm going to put £2,000 aside in this account, I'm going to only spend the 8,000 of it, and that way it's you've covered yourself, you can go out, spend the money, not worry about it. Whereas if you just go out and spend the 10 grand, and then one day someone comes knocking and says you owe us £2,000, you're going to go, oh well, I haven't got that on me at the minute. Like I'm really skint, and they're going to say, right, okay, well, we're going to start taking your assets, start affecting your home, your car, and obviously that's going to affect your wives and kids' lives. You know, taking you to court, filing for bankruptcy, all that sort of stuff. Which I've been down that route before. You don't want to be doing that. So when I obviously earn the money, or I say when, if I earn any money from cryptocurrency this year, I'll be declaring it all properly to the tax man, and obviously paying my fair share, which I think is right anyway, because obviously it's been part of being in a society. But anyway, that's my thoughts on taxes, guys. What do you think? Comment down below. Send me any messages of what your interpretation of it is. I think I've covered it right, but let me know if you think that anything I've said is absolute bullshit. The markets quickly, just before we go. Normally I do this at the beginning, but I thought I'd leave it to the end because we all know where it was the last couple of days. Seems to be bouncing back a bit, actually. Ripple's gone back up to $1.50. Bitcoin's up to 11.6. Ethereum's back over the $1,000 mark, which is good. They all seem to be up, but obviously they would be up because they went down so much and they've hovered around there. If you actually look at the 7-day, they're all down still, apart from Neo, which is up. So Neo was the best bet over the last week. So everything else is still down. So still waiting for this recovery. Obviously we lost 200 million off the market cap within the space of a couple of days. Bitcoin's dominance, I think that's gone up a bit actually. It was at 32% at one point, but it's up to 34 now. So it's crept up a little bit. But yeah, I'm hoping, this is my, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that the market bounces back. Envian have said that they're going to put the, tokens on sale through HitBTC on the January the 24th. Now that's obviously in, say, 6 days time. I'm hoping that in 6 days time this all bounces back up and it becomes really buoyant again, and there's a lot of money being chucked around the altcoins. That's what I'm hoping, so that when that Envian does hit the market, a lot of money gets thrown at it. That's my thoughts anyway. That's fingers crossed. So I'm not too worried about these dips at the minute. Like I say, it's not really affected me in any way because I converted all my money from Bitcoin and Ethereum into Envian tokens. So the only way I'll lose out is if Envian tokens won't hit the market and they're worth hardly anything. 2, if they don't pay out the dividends that they say they're going to pay out. A really good point actually. One of my YouTube subscribers, he commented on my video saying when Envian originally did their valuation or their return on investment calculations, they based it when Bitcoin was worth $6,000 and when Ethereum was only worth something like 600 or something like that. He made a really good point, and he'd worked out that the return on investment really is more in the realms of 350%, which is massive. Where is it? Where would I find a community? You can tell how stupid I am. Yeah, so this is PF and Grinder. Envian's 161% return on investment calculations are based on $8K US for Bitcoin and $400 US Ethereum price, which obviously now it's almost tripled if it goes back up to 1200. The actual ROI could easily reach up to 350%, said by Envian's admin. So I'm oblivious to this conversation he's talking about. The hype is huge and the demand is high for the token. I invested 20k. So he's hoping the same as me. He's if it does go up what I think they're going to go up, he's going to need to worry about tax. So make sure you bear that in mind. 48 hours after my purchase, I'm deeply concerned. I've opted to agree to his terms. So David Owens has messaged me saying that after the ICO finished, before he's gets his tokens released, they've changed the terms and conditions. I haven't had this, so I don't know where this has come from. Seems like it's from Envian, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that, David. I'm going to read through that after this video, and I'll probably comment back. Getting some really good feedback, actually, guys. I was thinking about it the other day and looking at my videos. Not only is my views going up, but I get loads of likes now, and I didn't even realise. You know, loads of likes. Very rarely get dislikes. There's one person who doesn't like my videos. Damn you, one person. Damn you. But yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for all the thumbs up and liking. My goal this year, 2018, is to hit 1,000 subscribers now, and that is because YouTube pissed me off. I saw some other videos about. I was watching some videos earlier today about this new thing that they brought into place. So to be monetized, and you're probably bored of this because you don't want to hear about me trying to earn money, I'm sure, but I think if you're providing something for someone, you know, even if it's a small amount, I'll be lucky if I earn, you know, 20 quid from YouTube adverts. But it annoys me that they set a goal, which I then aim to do, and I was clear about it with you guys. I've shown you this. They wanted 10,000 views. I hit 10,000 views like a month ago. And then I was just waiting for an email to say, hi, you've now become monetized. And then they said, oh no, wait until the end of January and we'll make a decision by then. They said that because the little arseholes, they knew that they were going to change the rules. And they thought, well, there's no point monetizing this guy because we're going to have to unmonetize him in a couple of weeks' time because he hasn't hit the new goals that we're thinking of. So now I need to hit 1,000 subscribers before I get reviewed. And also 4,000 minutes of view time. So, no, 4,000 hours of view time, which is quite a lot. Bearing in mind, I don't know how other YouTubers do this. I was thinking about it, and it's a bit unfair to judge people on watched hours because, you know, if I create a video that's an hour long and 4,000 of you watch it, I'll hit that straight away. If I create videos that are 5 minutes long, I can't work that math out in my head, but, you know, I need 10 times the amount of people. I need 40,000 people to watch that video before they'll put my thing up for a review. Now, I think my views are pretty good. You know, I get 200-300 views now per video, which I'm really happy about. Thank you so much to all the support out there. And my videos are generally quite long videos. I do chat a lot of shit for a long period of time, which I tried to fight it. But in the end, people just messaged me saying, Glenn, stop worrying about what other people think, just do your thing. But my average view time is 5 minutes 45. So out of all my videos, so someone watching this video, they would have switched off about 15 minutes ago probably. But yeah, that's my average view time, which I think is quite high. If you had videos that were only 5 minutes long, the chances are a lot of them are going to drop off after 1 or 2 minutes anyway, so your average view time would be 1 or 2 minutes. Obviously, that means there are people watching it for the whole length, only half the length, a quarter of the length and all that. So I think my view time is pretty good, and I still haven't hit their target. So it just goes to show you, a new YouTuber, whether you're talking about cryptocurrency or fucking throwing eggs up in the air, I don't know, doing whatever they do, it's going to be really hard to continuously create content over and over again with no reward and no sight of reward, because some YouTubers don't hit 1,000 subscribers in their first couple of years, which weren't too bad. When you was earning 20 quid or something, you know, you could buy 20 quid of, I don't know, football stickers or cards that you can review in your next video. It just helped along, you know, helped you make that next video. But now it just annoys me that YouTube have just done that. But anyway, that's me babbling on about YouTube. So I'm hoping to get 1,000 subscribers this year. You can help out if you're watching this and you're not already. Click the subscribe button. If you really want to help me out, you guys can just leave a YouTube window open, mute my voice, and just let my videos run in the background so this racks up. That'd be helping me out loads. And I'll see you guys on the next video. That's all I've got to say, really. Don't forget to message me your thoughts on any of the tax laws from your country. I always love hearing about other countries and how they, do different things to how the UK do it, just so I can judge whether our one's good or not. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. See you later, guys. Bye.